Hello, this is Hunter Stanek with Hunter's 2 Cents. This is going to be the first time I have kicked something off like this before. I get asked weekly from both tenants and landlords and whoever else, what does the market look like today, especially when it comes to small bay industrial. And so I thought I would start this little article slash podcast slash whatever this is. And it's going to be uncut and unedited, but I want to just inform everyone, what does the industrial market actually look like? And a lot of this is just my personal experiences and maybe my opinions. So some of you guys might disagree. And if you disagree, great. Send me an email, shoot me a call, whatever it is, we can discuss further. If this information is valuable, please subscribe. Please shoot me a call or email me again if you have any questions as well. But we are going to touch on a lot of different things today. We're going to touch specifically on net rates. What should I be paying, Hunter, when it comes to net rates? And this is more so the tenants talking to me. And before we jump into net rates, let's explain what the space it is that we're really leasing here. And it's the small to mid-size industrial bay. So really that 2,500 to maybe 5,000 square foot bay is kind of the bread and butter. And these rates will probably work on bigger stuff as well. But really in today's market, it ranges a little bit and really depends on, the office warehouse split, location. Is it a nice building? Is it not a nice building? But really it's a call it 20% office, 80% warehouse space. And you're probably going to be paying anywhere between that $7.50 a square foot, all the way up to $9.50 a square foot. And again, there's outliers on both sides. But on average, that's where you're going to fall. And when it comes to net annual increases, it's really going to range from 3 to 5%, with 4% being the golden number, which most landlords land on. One question that I constantly get asked is, well, what kind of TI allowance or TI money do I get when I do lease these spaces? And really it's a per deal situation, and it's not like it used to be back in the day where it's like, well, we'll pay $5 a square foot. Landlords really want to know what it is that what the tenant is looking to accomplish. And I would say by default, a tenant can get LED lights, carpet or polished concrete floors in the office, and paint. And with those three things being really the default. Beyond that, when it comes to like reconfiguring the office or any specialty build out, most of the time these landlords are going to amortize those additional costs within the term of the lease. Or just really outright make the tenant pay for them, depending on what they are. But that's really what's going to happen with tenant improvements. And when it comes to term, like I mentioned, usually it's going to fall between that 3 to 5 year lease, with a lot of landlords today pushing for 5 years. And that's becoming incredibly difficult for these small to mid-sized companies, because they don't necessarily know what 5 years is going to look like. They know what 3 years or 2 years is going to look like, but they don't know what 5 is going to look like. And so that's kind of an area where I see landlords and tenants butting heads in this size range, that 2,500 to 5,000 square foot suite. Obviously larger stuff with larger companies, they have longer projections, but that 2,500 square foot user, man, they're just looking what the next year to 3 years looks like. So that's one thing I run into. And so again, 750 to 950, 4% net annual increases. Another thing that I get a lot of pushback on, especially brokers are really good at asking this question, is, well, I want 1 month, 2 month, 3 month net free rent. And it's really hard to ask a landlord for net free rent for a small bay industrial space. I mean, it's kind of like a take it or leave it situation. So maybe I'm talking more towards the brokers right now. Brokers, don't put that in your tenants' minds, because it is extremely rare that I actually see, free rent taking place. I see a lot of early occupancy where the landlord allows the company to go in or the tenant to go in and start moving things in, but not that often do I see free rent. It happens, just not as much as it used to. The last piece here I wanted to talk about is more specific towards landlords. There is still quite a bit of activity being done in the small bay industrial space when it comes to getting deals done. But what I am noticing is landlords that are willing to come off those premium rates or premium terms, they're the ones that are winning a lot of these deals. And the landlord's hope is, hey, I hope they stick around for 8, 10, 12, 15 years. And I'm willing to come off 50 cents a square foot or $1 a square foot, whatever it may be. And so to landlords out there, if you're okay with coming off of that rate a little bit, you are going to win the deal. And the reason being here is there is a lot more on the market, a lot more space on the market. And I know I might make some people think about this, but I have all sorts of people always contact me. Oh, well, the vacancy report says this, the vacancy report says that. It's under 3%, it's under 5% of vacancy in the Twin Cities. Well, there's a lot of vacancy, especially compared to the last 5 years. And what that allows the tenant to do is shop. They can shop, they can look around, and when it comes to 2,500, 5,000 square foot bays, it really doesn't matter much of the configuration. If it's, 20% office and 80% warehouse or somewhere in that arena, they're just most of the time looking for the best deal for their company, money wise. And so I'm just seeing a lot of tenants these days, really the last probably year to maybe year and a half, able to shop. And that is a tough thing for landlords. And we're in this kind of gray area where landlords are pushing, $9.50, and in some cases I see people going all the way up to $11 net. But maybe you can eventually get to that. Good on you, landlord, if you get that. But I'm seeing more deals happen, south of those numbers. And so that's maybe something to think about, landlords. So that's all we're going to really touch on today is rates. There's a lot more to talk about in the future. Again, if you find this fascinating, feel free to subscribe. Go to our website, GonyeaCommercial.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there should be some sort of link to subscribe to our newsletter, or my information should be on this link. You can email me, call me, whether you're a landlord or a tenant that have questions, feel free to reach out. Always here to help. Thanks.